Hello everybody. So it's been a while, so I was thinking I would do a story time today. This would be a childhood thing that I was thinking about the other day. It was I was 6 years old, so it would have been 1968, and I had gone to bed and I woke up in a lot of pain. I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. My right leg. Was it my right leg? Yeah, it was my right leg. And so my parents didn't know what to do. I think they called the doctor, and the doctor listened to the symptoms. I think he had asked if I had had an injury lately, if I had injured myself in that area. And I told my parents yes, the day before, I think it was the day before, I had wrenched my hip joint falling off the back step, kind of falling off, half falling off the back step. And it was like, for me, it was probably a full three foot drop, if not more, maybe 4 foot. And I wasn't that tall to begin with. So I had wrenched my hip that day, and he told my parents that they needed to rush me to the hospital immediately. If they did not, I would probably be paralyzed from the waist down. So I remember them carrying me to the car. They must have got a babysitter. Maybe my grandma and grandpa came to babysit my brothers and sister. And I remember being in the hospital in this really big wide hallway, and my parents were in the middle of the hallway I was off to the side sitting on a bench or something, and they were in the middle of the hall talking to the doctor, and I felt like they were whispering stuff so I couldn't hear. After that, I don't really remember anything until I was in bed. Must have been after surgery, laying in bed. So what had happened was, they explained to my parents that there was probably a virus in my body. I had maybe had a cold or something previously, and the virus was still in my body, and it found that injury, and it wrapped itself around that injury, and it just so happened to be my hip. So they went in, they made a, I don't know, 3-4 inch long incision about that wide. It's like they took a chunk of skin out and then we put it back on. But anyways, when I woke up, I was in a cast. Both my feet were in a cast, and my legs were spread about almost a 45-degree angle, and there was a piece of wood in between, so I couldn't move. I'll maybe post a picture here somewhere. And this was at St. Mary's Hospital, and it was, people who took care of you were nuns. So the only thing I remember was being very alone, like I had been abandoned. See, my parents couldn't come up there a lot because they had 3 other kids to take care of, and my dad worked like 3 jobs. So they tried to come up as much as they could, but for a 6-year-old, that's not a lot. Just even if it was once a night, I don't even remember. I remember my grandparents coming up and trying to cheer me up, and I was just so mean to them and screaming and crying. And I think they even brought a gift. I think every time even my parents came up, they gave me a gift, like a Matchbox car, and I think my grandparents were trying to get me to eat cereal or something, and I just wouldn't eat, and I was just mad at the world because they left me alone, So I was in a cast for 2 weeks up there, the nuns taking care of my every need. I don't know how they did it with me laying on my back like that. But after the 2 weeks, I had to kind of learn how to walk again. So I went through some therapy to learn how to walk. Went home with crutches, and yeah, that was I didn't realize how traumatizing that was for me at that age, but it was. So that's my little story. So if you hear of anyone that has had septic arthritis. That's what they call it. If there's a virus in your body, and it sometimes will find an injury and it'll attach to it, and it froze up that joint like a rock, and they had to go in and scrape all the way around that joint, all the way around my leg. So, and I can walk today, thank goodness. Anyway, that's my little story. Hope I didn't bore you too much. Maybe I'll do some more stories. I know I don't remember a whole lot about my childhood. We lived in the Philippines for a year. I remember bits and pieces of that. And yeah, I don't remember much about my childhood. I don't know why. It's like I blocked it all out. Anyway, till next time, thanks for watching.